if I want to talk to everybody, I'm going to reduce my issue to the lowest common denominator, and that's individual feeling. I don't know what our politics are, I don't know what your religion is, but I do know you've got a brain. So I'm going to talk to you in that language. So that's one thing. The second thing is that there's what Ian Hacking, a Canadian philosopher, calls a looping effect. So once you have this category that exists, it acts as a subtle invitation to conceive of yourself in these particular ways. And so, if I label a flower, for instance, it doesn't care what I call it. But if I label a human being, the kind of human being that I become has a relationship with that label. The label doesn't just sit there. I come to know myself through that label. And gradually, we do actually feel worse. We do. We are actually...
So one of those occasions in which, a rose by any other name doesn't smell.
Yeah, we are actually more fragile than we've ever been. But it's presented as, this is human nature. This is what happens. Bad thing happens, you are damaged. Cause, effect. And you grow up in a world in which that's just the way things are. I learned recently...
But isn't that often true, though? A bad thing happens and that has a bad effect on you in later life.
No, but that's the narrative that we're given. We're given this narrative.
But surely there are things which can happen to you in childhood which will have a lasting effect on at the very least, your worldview.
Perhaps at a very, very extreme end. But in terms of the sort of everyday things that happen to us, actually human beings do have an extraordinary amount capacity for resilience.
Aren't you kind of saying, just deal with it, get over yourself? And people have said that, since time immemorial.
I'm not talking about very, very serious psychosis. I'm not talking about very, very serious psychological problems. I'm talking about the way that we're encouraged to, increasingly encouraged to view everyday issues as fundamentally damaging to the psyche. That's what I'm talking about. The way that we're encouraged to conceive of our flaws, not as something that we can overcome through the strength of will, but as something intrinsic to who we are, to our brains, that sort of thing.